What's going on, everybody? Justin Hickox here. Thank you for hanging back out with us again today. So I wanted to jump on here live and go through a little process with my client here, Chrissy. We got a really cool story. Okay, so let me just break the story down real fast without sharing anything. Have you died twice and are still alive?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, she has. I haven't, but we're going to hear her story in just a second. We're also going to go through a little haircut while we're doing that. So I figured, hey, we're going to completely change her hair. This is a totally new thing for her. It's a totally new look, right?
Yes.
And why not share? She told me the story, guys, and I was like, she told me the start of the story, and I was like, okay, you guys need to hear this without question. So, by the way, if this is your first time joining me, thanks for hanging out. My name is Justin Hickox, and on my channel, I simply share tips, hair tricks, things I've learned over 25 years of doing hair to make your hair a little more simple for you. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell button so that you can get notified when I bring out brand new videos, which I do basically every Wednesday, sometimes more. And otherwise, so enough of that. Let's get into the story. So first of all, real quickly, I'll show you guys at the very end what we did. Her before picture, I'll show you, which was not like this. We've actually already colored her hair. I didn't want to bring you guys along for the color because it would have been way too long. So instead, we're just going to cut you in on when we're cutting hair. And as far as the cut goes, we're going to bring this length up a little bit. We're going to layer it a little bit more. We're going to open up the shape a little bit more. We're going to have some fun with it. We've completely changed the color. So you'll see that here pretty soon. But I feel like I'm rambling, and you don't need to hear any of that. You got a way cooler story. FYI, I've been waiting to hear this. I was like, don't tell me anything because I want to know when you guys know. So I'm finding out with you guys right now. So, Chrissy.
Yes.
Tell me your story.
Okay, so 6 years ago, I got really ill, and we didn't have any idea what was going on.
I'm going to give you this. Hold this down there just so I
Yep.
can hear you better.
Didn't have any idea what was going on. We went to several doctors and Mayo Clinic, and I, at this point, had lost 50 pounds, and my stomach was just deteriorating, basically, and went to the Mayo Clinic, and that was a crazy experience, but it was a good one. They're awesome. Finally got diagnosed with a rare condition called eosinophilia.
What?
Eosinophilia.
Okay, what's that?
It's an autoimmune disease. So
Okay.
everybody has eosinophils in their body. It's like what makes you have allergic reactions.
Okay.
But mine particularly went out of whack and started attacking my own body, especially my digestive system. So the eosinophils in my esophagus, my stomach, and my intestines were like off the charts, and it had actually started to eat through my esophagus, my stomach, my duodenum, and my intestines.
If you've ever heard of that, how many people have that?
Not very many, like 200 people have different varieties of eosinophilia.
Okay, comment below if you've ever heard of whatever that was you just said, because I can't pronounce it.
So my technical term is eosinophilic gastroenteritis duodentitis.
Okay, I'm not laughing at that, but let's be real.
It's a mouthful.
How long has this been going on?
6 years.
So it took you 6 years to learn how to pronounce that.
And I still don't get it right.
All right, fair.
Then eventually, it got to the point where they ended up going in and removing parts of my stomach and reattaching it to my esophagus. And that didn't work because it kept getting worse. So then they had to go in and actually remove 2/3 of my stomach, reattach it to a different part of my body, and close off my duodenum, and removed some intestine, and then reattach that to the base of the stomach. And then that didn't work. After a while, it came back, and so they had to go back in and remove 3 feet of intestine, or 9 feet of intestine, and most of my stomach, and then put a new hole. So basically, my plumbing doesn't look like anybody else's on the planet.
My plumbing.
Yes.
Fair, okay.
And it was really scary a few times. After the last surgery, it actually ruptured, and I don't know if anybody's had a serious septic infection, but you actually go crazy, like you lose your mind. And
Really?
I was in the hospital, and I had this snow globe because it was over Christmas, and I was trying to lick it because I wanted water, and it was really scary.
Do they know why that is?
just because of the infection in your brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is all over my head. This is
And,
what I do. That's way beyond my pay grade.
Previous to that, I had been on the table one time, and the only time my poor husband left the hospital, and I coded on the table and passed, and then they had to resuscitate me and call him. That was probably the worst drive of his life, trying to figure out if I would be there when he got back.
So off camera over here, guys, we've got her
Oh,
husband.
sorry about that.
No, it's okay. So, what was that like, man?
That was horrible, honestly.
Come over here and grab that little mic from her so people can hear you. And just hold it down here. So that was, I mean, what did they say? They called you up and what did they say?
They just said that she had flatlined on the table, and they had a crash team to resuscitate her, and pretty much hung up on me, and so I just had to rush back to the hospital to see what I found.
So you had
But
no idea.
she was back up and running when I got there.
Just back up and running. Which I'm, for all intents and purposes, going to assume that was a good thing.
Yes,
You were
yes,
excited
it was a
for
good thing.
Hey,
Yep.
I'm not here to judge. I don't know what's going on with religion.
Yeah, keep her around.
Yeah.
So,
When my stomach ruptured, though, after the last surgery, that was horrible. I didn't understand exactly what had happened when I woke up because I was so out of it before I went into that surgery. But my doctor had told our son, who was with me in the room, that I had 30 minutes or I was dead. And so,
what?
yeah, it was just not good. And that surgery ended up going well. And because of the sepsis, I got the massive infection behind my heart and in my lower abdomen, and had to have another surgery to get that out. And I did really well for after that surgery, and the post scopes looked great, and the surgeons were amazing. I have the best doctors around. They're incredible. And the nursing staff that took care of me were just angels, but literally saved my life. And
So
then
a couple times.
a couple times that I didn't make it, or I couldn't have made it without them.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And but then I just couldn't gain back any weight, and I was trying to eat and it wouldn't stay down. And even though they said it would technically start to work again, it just wasn't. And so all my organs started to fail. My liver started failing, my kidneys started failing, and I went into full-on liver failure and was life-flighted again. And they put me in hospice care and told Patrick to do my last rites and all that fun stuff.
How long were you in hospice?
Altogether 9 months.
So you were at a place where you weren't sure if you were going to live.
I was told I wasn't gonna.
So you were dying for 9 months. How does that turn around?
I don't know. Well, we did some more blood work and they realized that I had absolutely no B vitamins in my blood, and that no matter what they gave to me, the calories, my calorie count things weren't going up. I was not absorbing any nutrition. The disease had crushed my inside so badly that anything I ate was just not either being absorbed or it would come back up, which I know that's not very nice pleasantries, but anyway, they put an NG tube down my nose and I was fed with a pump through my nose, a formula that I ended up being allergic to, but it did bring up my nutrition levels, which was fantastic, because then I honestly was starting to feel a little bit better, and my liver functions went back to not normal but better, and my hair had fallen out pretty much by this point. My fingernails, the same thing, all of it from nutrition, and feeding tube. And at that point, we were in Montana, and we had to come back over here to my old surgeon, who was retired but came out of retirement to do my surgery. And he's awesome. He's still pretty much retired, but if I could do anything for that man, I would. And so they went back in and glued my intestines to the wall of my stomach, the muscle tissue, put in a permanent tube that I live with every day, and broke down all the way so I don't have to digest it. It's already done. And it's a formula. It smells really bad.
Are you allowed to eat?
I can only eat about a quarter a cup of food a day or it'll come back up. So
Do you?
I die. Whenever
You great.
Yeah, whenever there's somebody's having a filet mignon in my direction, I feel like I could tackle them.
Very definitely like in my direction.
That's right. Yeah.
So you just turn directions when you're eating filet? You're
Oh,
like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Yes.
wow. So
So when I do put anything in my mouth, it's got to be something worth really loving, you know, that I'm dying for.
do
So
you
that
get like sick and then it comes up, or it's just like
it's pretty much just comes up.
okay? So it's not like it makes you feel terrible if it doesn't come up. It's like you've got an amount that you can take in, and then beyond that, it's just like nope, it's gonna come back. But if you take in less than that, then you're like okay, I don't. It's not like you feel
No.
horrible, or you feel
Oh no,
like,
I can feel it. I can
Oh,
feel
okay,
it. It
okay.
takes because the way your stomach works, when you eat, the muscles move it down, and I don't have any of that. And well, I have very little of it, and so mine's basically just a straight shot now through my esophagus into this little pouch and down into my intestines. But if I eat more than that, it gets stuck in that little pouch and it doesn't go down, and then it just comes back up. So, yeah, fluids and my pump. And that's how I get my nutrition. And I have special protein that I put in the pump, and so my hair's growing back. Yay!
is it getting stronger?
Yes, and so my husband and I decided that once I had a year of not spending my life in the hospital, I really wanted to give myself something amazing, and this is it. And I'm excited.
You stuck with me.
Oh, poor me.
You poor thing.
I know.
What are you thinking?
Oh
Okay,
my gosh, I can already see the color is so pretty.
It's gonna be. You guys have to wait before you see the before photo. Heads up, real quick. Sorry, I got a side note here just for you. So I gotta cut and actually be professional here. Since we were discussing earlier about where she was gonna part her hair, she usually parts it on the center. I was saying off to one side is gonna give you more volume. It's gonna be kind of better for the shape overall. But with that said, if you're gonna go off to this side, heads up, I'm gonna actually end up taking this side, when you pull this up, a little bit shorter than this side. I'm gonna
Okay.
do that so that when they come down, it actually looks even. But
Okay.
if you pull it up, put it in rollers, do anything like that, or put it at the end of a curling iron or something, and you see that it's a little bit uneven, that's why. There's a
Okay.
purpose for it. So I kind of warn people of that, so they're not like, wait a minute, what's going on? Why does this side seem a little bit shorter? It's just to make it look even when it sits down, when it comes down.
Right.
And you probably get asked this all the time. So do you remember anything about dying? Like, do you remember, like, was there any, I mean, you just were asleep and then you woke up and they said you coded, or was there anything that seemed different to you about that versus, like, passing out, or?
No, you mean, did I see a bright light?
No, not necessarily that. I mean, because I feel like that's what everybody says, right? I mean,
No,
but unless you did.
I had a moment before when I was not lucid, and my husband was in the room with us, and the nurse came in, and I was so completely gone, and my heart was not right. Everything was going south, like super south. And the nurse asked me, "What's your name?" And I said, "I don't need a name." And he said, "Do you know where you are?" And I said, "I'm in the Garden of Gethsemane." And everybody, I'm very religious, and everybody freaked out because that was me basically, I think, just kind of making peace with it
Okay.
if I was not going to be there.
Craziness.
Yeah. But I'm glad that it turned the other way. Yeah, not that.
Yeah. That's nuts. That is absolutely, yeah, that's 2 times, like,
That's when my husband
2
panicked.
times? That's when he panicked? Guys, I'm gonna actually blow dry our hair here real quick. So I'm gonna give you this mic again so you don't hear the blow dryer every time more than you have to.
But I've had amazing friends and amazing family.
Yes. So this guy over here has pretty much been pretty solid support system this entire time.
That's an understatement.
Is it?
Yeah. Yep. And my friends and my children. Yeah. So.
Not everybody's so supportive.
And nobody should take any of that for granted.
That's big, right?
Huge. Sorry.
Can you get the woman a towel?
Thank you.
What a jerk.
Ew, this is a pain in the butt.
He has no idea where to go. I'm sitting over here. I know there's a towel right over here.
He's
I'm
stuck.
going to the bus instead.
Thanks. So, yeah, no, it's been a long process, but to come out this far and feel this great, it's taken me this whole year just to be able to, like, walk right. I lost so much body mass and tissue and muscle.
So what's the prognosis from here?
There's no real cure,
Okay.
but I'm in a remission, basically. I mean, I just had another surgery a few months ago to look down, scope and go down,
Okay.
and everything looked great. So it's just, I have to have that repeated, and I have to have my tube replaced about every 3 months.
And so once they replace that tube every 3 months, and if everything just stays looking great, then everything else is good, then you just live like you're living right now.
Yeah.
Where there's nothing.
It's a bummer being hooked up to a machine to get food, but it's better than the alternative.
How long do you have to be hooked up every day?
About 10 hours.
10 hours a day? That's what it takes to feed. So do you hook up at night, or do you do it?
I don't hook up at night because sometimes the tube will get pulled out, and then you have to go to the hospital to get it put back in, and so.
Because you're moving around. Okay.
And my puppy sleeps with us.
Okay.
I'll be completely honest.
Which puppy?
Her name is Dax. We call her Daxilator.
Daxilator?
Yeah.
And what kind of puppy is she?
She's a German Shepherd mix. So when I was on, like, one of my weakest points, I was super sick. My girlfriend, Shelly, in Colorado, she called us and she said, the vet called and this puppy needs a forever home, and she needs somebody like you because you're bedridden.
Yeah.
And this puppy had a broken leg in 8 places, and her orbital and her eye, and somebody had just tied her up and left her for basically dead. And so my husband, being
Heads up, if you're watching now and you're like a person that's into like hurting animals, probably not the channel you should be on.
Yeah, no.
I have pretty strong feelings about that.
Me too.
Yeah.
So my husband, being gracious, went and picked this puppy up in Oregon and brought it to Montana, and we recovered together. And so we're inseparable. She's probably having a heart attack right now, wondering where Mom is.
Okay. Do you think that she has a special bond with you because of that?
Absolutely.
I feel like the dogs know that, right?
Oh, and she can tell when I have a bad day. So if I don't hook up, say I have really big plans and I don't want to be hooked up to a machine, I'll feel it the next day. I won't have any energy, and I start to get sickly. And she can tell, and she'll actually be very protective of me and lay right next to me while I feel better.
Really?
Yep.
How old is she now?
1.5 years.
A year and a half.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. She's great. She's a she's a special puppy. But she was in a cast for almost 8 months, 7? Yeah.
She was in it for 8 months.
Because her fractures were so bad. So yeah, if you're a bad animal person, go away.
Yeah. Kick rocks.
I know. Oh, I'm so excited. Look at that.
Oh, wait for it. Wait for it. We still have to style it.
Jumped into my new guilty pleasure.
I've been called a lot of things. Is that moving the camera around or is that? Oh, thanks, man. You need a job? You do my camera? You do my text?
Yeah.
I got him over here holding my cord up to my motor so I don't yank the camera around, which I probably was.
I like how you decided to do the color the way you did.
I think it's going to be really pretty. So, at home, you can obviously style it wavy. Wavy will look amazing. I'm going to do it straight right now because I want to go back through and check the cut and kind of texturize it and stuff and kind of fine tune it. And so, for purpose of time, for you guys and for us as well, maybe I'll have to do a wavy at some point, but we're going to do it straight. But you're going to do a wavy and it'll be awesome.
Okay.
This is the part that's not as much fun.
Okay.
Guys, if you're just now joining us, we're here. We just got finished up with a haircut. We made quite a change, which you'll see in just a second. I'll do the before photo. And then we just, is this a stomach issue, or how would you classify it?
It's an autoimmune disease.
It's an autoimmune, okay, see, again, smarter than me. I don't know how to.
It just attacks other people differently, but it attacked my digestive system.
Just going back here. Yeah, so Chrissy was living in hospice for 6 months, right? Almost 9 months.
Yeah.
9 months, not like thinking you're gonna die. 9 months. They're basically saying like for both of you guys, right?
You should have seen my reaction at the hospital when I got life flighted, and they put me down in the hospice care with this, with the people that were like legitimately
Dying.
there. And I was like, I told my husband, I said, I actually got up and I was like, get me the heck out of here. I'm not staying in this room.
He's like, actually, honey, you kind of like, how do you even, I mean, how did you manage that with, like, I'm sure there's a certain amount of probably like I think you actually said, like a little bit of guilt with, you know, like, oh, he's still by my side, you know, like, is there,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
it's torture watching, like my son, my
Which-
first couple surgeries, our youngest son, would never leave the hospital room. He ended up spending a month in the hospital with me. And, you know, when you're hooked up to all these machines and the nurses are checking on you every 15 minutes, you have no privacy. And
15 minutes?
Every 15 minutes. And my son and my husband are sleeping in chairs in the room with me every single day, all night long. My husband's trying to hold down, you know, his job and still be there. And so we couldn't go to midnight.
Up top, high fives for being a man. You know what I mean? Like, high fives for like standing up and doing, you know.
Yeah.
I give credit on that kind of stuff because a lot of, to be honest, not every guy, but a lot of people, you know, get selfish about stuff like that, you know?
No, not 1 minute of it was he ever selfish.
Yeah.
And so for that Christmas, midnight mass, we couldn't go, so he helped me down to the church or the chapel in the hospital, and we had our own little prayer thing for Christmas, and then we opened up presents in the hospital, and we set up our son. We brought in a table, and the nurses helped us, and we set up his PlayStation 4 that he got.
Really?
Yeah, and I was in there so long, he even had time to build his Lego Millennium Falcon on this little table in the hospital room.
Dude, what?
So yeah, I have the greatest family ever. Talk about grateful, that's it.
Okay, so tell me this then. What do you think, if you had like one thing that you had to say that you learned from this whole experience, like the biggest thing, like your takeaway, your one major life takeaway? Can you narrow it down to one?
Maybe two, how's that?
Okay.
Don't take anything for granted, and if you want to do something, don't wait. Don't say, oh, I'm going to save up my money and I'll travel when I retire. Travel right now, because you don't know what's going to happen. And when you're
Say
lucky.
that again. I just want to make sure that they heard that because I'm 100% behind you.
Don't wait. If you have a dream and you want to do it, don't say, I'm going to, what I said was, don't wait, save up your money and wait till you're retired. If you want to travel, travel now. If you want to have a family, have it now. Find the right person like I did and, live your life for you and not everybody else. And then the other thing is be grateful for the people around you. They keep you strong.
Oh, I'd say you had a little bit of strength there too. I feel like, right? Like they keep you maybe a little bit stronger, but you had a foundation. Let's put it this way: they were building on a foundation you already had. I feel like if I died once, I just die once. There would be no second dying. That's not normal. You don't die twice.
Yeah.
You die once, and then you're done. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, my husband's had to learn to take care of my feeding tube, which has been kind of fun. Sorry about that, guys.
No need to apologize.
He gives me stitches and.
He gives you stitches.
Yeah, because we use stitches to hold it in place.
What?
And so,
Every time?
Yeah. Well, it's usually he changes my stitches. Thank you. It's my bed.
Gosh.
Changes my stitches once every week, 2 weeks?
Yes.
Or unless the dog jumps on me and rips my tube out. And then,
Nope.
yeah, that happens a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, sir, no. No,
Yeah.
that's, nope. Nope. That dog, nope.
We have 3 big dogs, so.
Yeah, you have an Akita, the shepherd mix, and then what else?
And then we have a little girl, Dover, and she is a German Shepherd Blue Heeler mix, and her mama Moon was a DOD dog, EOD, Explosives Ordnance Dog in Afghanistan.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so she's a little feisty girl. We got her when she was 2 days old and bottle fed her and took care of her, and she is amazing. She's the smartest dog I've ever seen.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Super smart. And she's our son Jason's dog. But yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, she's a good girl. She's
All right.
a talker.
So I'm going to cut this here, guys. I'm going to let you guys go, but I'll give you kind of an idea of what it's going to look like, and then what I'll do is I'm going to go back through and do it wavy, and then
Okay.
maybe at the very end of this video I'll come back in and put a little card in of it actually wavy after it's done, but I also want to be respectful of their time and your guys' time, so we're not here all day. But you can get kind of an idea. So first of all, let me do this real quick. Let me give you a little bit of the before photo here.
Color's gorgeous.
And let's see. There's the before, if you take a look at that. And now we are back to where we're at with her right now. So she's got some red kind of warm highlights, right? Some depth at the roots, and a little bit more movement in the overall shape.
Yeah, it's
and fun of it.
beautiful.
It's cute.
I'm
You love
so
it?
excited.
Okay, good. That's all we really care about. All right, you guys, hey, thanks for hanging out. And if you want to see more live cuts, do not hesitate. Comment below. Let me know. I love to do them. They're fun. Otherwise, if you have any questions about her, don't hesitate. Reach out, comment below, let us know. And, hey, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell so that you get notified. Every Wednesday, we bring out new videos, so you don't want to miss it. Okay, you guys, thanks for hanging out. We'll talk to you soon. Say bye. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing your story.
I feel amazing.
Thanks for coming in and sharing the story. All right. You guys take care. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.